What's up, everyone? I hope everyone's day is going fantastic. I hope everyone's week's been going well. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Um, I have been having an incredibly rough couple of weeks for a variety of reasons. But this particular space of my life has been thrivingly positive in like the best way. I am constantly reminded that I am incredibly fortunate to have the viewership that I have. You are all so incredibly sweet. Um, and I've really appreciated it over the last couple weeks, especially. I wish that I had like better words for it, especially when I'm trying to respond to comments. But just know from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate all of the positivity that is cultivated here. Um, and I'm really, really like kind of shocked that I managed to do that. um, on another note, separate from that, I've also this week gotten a couple, like, and it happened just this week. I feel like I've never gotten this comment before, but I've gotten a couple comments and messages pointing out the fact that I kind of shy away from like negativity in readings. They weren't like negative comments or anything like that, but it was the question of like whether or not I was purposefully avoiding saying like negative things. And I don't lie ever. And I feel like I do point out things in the most neutral way possible, whether they're positive or negative. Um, but also like I feel like in spaces like this, spaces where people are actively cultivating like self-growth and introspection, um, people are aware of their negatives. Like people are really aware of their negatives. You don't need me as a random guy on the internet to tell you what your negatives are. Typically in spaces like this, people know because they've been doing things like shadow work. And even if they don't, frankly, I feel like people don't hear positives about themselves enough. They just don't. And I'd rather have that energy coming through, especially in my readings, and having that be the focus of my readings, than to focus on the negatives or any of like the darker parts of things. I don't avoid them, but I do think that the cards respond to what they respond to, and I'm also never looking for like outrageously negative energy unless it's something that needs to come through in the reading. So those two facts together, the fact that you all are amazing, and I've also gotten a couple comments about the fact that I don't do negativity very well. Today, our reading is going to be me complimenting you all. I'm gonna do a reading for compliments towards you guys. I'm excited to see what comes up. I've never done a reading like this before. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so we're gonna have 4 piles. Pile number 1 is going to be the 3 of Spades. Pile number 2 is going to be the Jack of Spades. Pile number 3 is going to be the Queen of Diamonds. And pile number 4 is going to be the King of Diamonds. Wow. Interesting. So super interesting. Jack to Queen to King already. And the Queen of Diamonds to the King of Diamonds as like its own separate thing even at the very end. This is fast progression energy. The fact that the 3 of these cards come right after a 3 here too, it's very strong manifestation energy. You guys are in a really, really strong space right now. Even if you don't necessarily feel that way, you are in a very, very strong spot right now. Especially in the sense I'm getting of like self-reflection. I was literally just talking about this. You guys have been working on yourselves and it's paying off. You're seeing leveling going up. The Queen to the King of Diamonds specifically even is, it goes from the spade, the Jack of Spades. Spades are very air, intellectual, mind energy. Very strong logical energy in a lot of cases. To go from that to the diamonds, which are about physical manifestation, grounded, things you can touch, tangible things in this reality. It's the progression of taking ideas and turning them into real things. It's a really, really great energy to start the reading off on for a collective, actually. So that was the collective message on top of whatever comes next, which is the King of Clubs on top of it. Yeah, you end in a king and then you have another king for the collective. It's really, really great energy. The King of Clubs is indicative of Leo energy. You guys are stepping into the next chapter of your life. And the next chapter of your life I'm getting is going to be strong spotlight energy. The Three of Spades coming out as the three that progresses into the king for the collective piles. It's reflective energy. Like you've gone through a very tough chapter in your life and you're coming out on the other side of it. And I'm getting a lot of like hermit energy even. You're coming out on the other side of it having learned and grown, and you're going to take all of the lessons that you learned in the previous chapter of your life and they're going to help you shine in this next chapter of your life. Definitely introvert beware. This is definitely the energy of like you're going to be in the spotlight very soon. And it's going to be a good thing, but I do get that it'll be a little bit jarring because it's probably going to be very different from the energy that you're coming from in the previous chapter of your life. All right, lovely message to start off with already. Again, for the piles, we've got pile number 1 with the 3 of Spades, pile number 2 with the Jack of Spades, pile number 3 with the Queen of Diamonds, and pile number 4 with the King of Diamonds. All right, and we're going to be starting with pile number 1 and the 3 of Spades. Now, the 3 of Spades is 3 of Swords energy. That is strong heartbreaker energy. Definitely getting that you guys break hearts without even realizing it. This is the energy of like, not only do you break necks walking down the road, but like friends that you've had for years in your life are likely like in love with you. Like you might be someone who has issues with like your friends specifically falling in love with you or catching feelings for you. You might even be someone who like, you know, that they're friends that you've had probably for a very long time that ultimately have never brought their feelings forward, but you know they're there. Like it's painfully obvious to everyone that they're there. It hasn't moved forward because it hasn't moved forward. You're likely not interested, but you are someone who's probably used to the idea of friends being highly interested in you. Romantically. There's also a sense here that you've been through quite a lot. The 3 of Swords is traditionally the heartbreak energy on top of the heartbreaker energy. You've been through quite a bit, I'm getting. You're very clever. Definitely getting that you're very, very clever. You're very, very good with your words. You're really careful with your words too, though. Like, I have the feeling that you're very aware of how you are aware of how you talk and what you say, because you know that you can say hurtful things just being blunt to people. Like, there's a sense that your caring for people is very, yeah, the 9 of Swords popping out right there. Your caring for people is very, very direct. You're not someone who sugarcoats things. You're not someone who will like lie to your friend to make them feel better. But you are someone who's very logical and very direct. And if someone's your friend, there's a reason for that. And you have no problem spelling that sort of thing out for them. You're definitely the kind of friend that people call when they're having nightmares or any kind of anxiety attacks. You'll be straight with them. And even when being straight with them, I'm getting that even at your like straightest, at your most blunt, you're still a very gentle person. Like, you're very empathetic. It's not that you're lacking in empathy. It's that you don't beat around the bush. You'll tell people the truth, and you'll also be a shoulder for them to cry on. People can trust your opinion when you say it because you will give your exact opinion. Yeah, definitely the energy here that you likely have had friends in the past who you've like warned them about people in their life, or particularly about like new romantic partners. You've warned them about them and you've turned out to be right. All right. What more can we know, please? All right, so off the cuff, we already have a bunch of cards popping out, and they're all amazing energies, actually. We've got the Six of Wands, followed by the Ten of Pentacles, followed by the Magician, followed by the Ace of Cups, followed by the Three of Wands, bringing up the rear of the 5-card spread. Now already the Six of Wands coming out at the very beginning of the spread, it's indicative of the fact that you're moving into a new chapter in your life, and you're doing so having been victorious in the last chapter of your life. Even if you don't see it, there are people around you who see that you've been leveling up and you're on your way to a higher level very soon. Leading directly into the Ten of Pentacles, the Legacy card, the Happy Family card, the Abundant Family card, even. The way that the horse is literally leading towards the Ten of Pentacles. You're coming up fast on a very big part of your life. The Ten of Pentacles to the Magician as well. The next chapter of your life is going to see you take the successes that you've had in this last chapter of your life and double them with your own abilities. Like, you are definitely someone who gives off God's favorite energy, but you work really hard for what you get. The Magician being at the exact center of the 5 cards right here. You're willing to do the work, and you're also willing to stay optimistic and continue looking towards the horizon because you have faith on the things that you do, or you have faith in the things that you do. And it leads you to actual love, actual creativity. Like, you have a very big heart, and I'm getting that in like a lot of ways. Like, you have a lot of love to offer, but not just to the people around you, to like ideas, to your hobbies, to your interests. You're a very loving person just in general. You give off incredibly passionate energy. You're also very, very forward thinking, with the Three of Wands capping it all off even. You don't wallow in moments, even when wallowing isn't necessarily what's happening. Like, you take breaks and you enjoy the moments when they come to you, but you're not someone who stays in the moment. You're constantly looking forward. You're looking for progress. You're very forward thinking yourself. It's really inspiring energy. You inspire the people around you to take on that same level of like, not just responsibility, but like desire almost. Like, you spark desire in the people around you. They want bigger, better things because with you around, they can kind of see that. You inspire people to dream bigger, to believe in themselves. Very supportive energy. All right, what more can we know, please? What more can we know? What more can I know about you? All right, and we've got the Two of Wands. Yep, doubling down on that progressive energy. You're really accepting. I'm getting that you're really, really non-judgmental. Regardless of how you view progress, your ultimate goal is to be surrounded by people who are supportive of both you and each other. The Two of Wands is really forward-thinking energy, and having it come up after the Three of Wands is very interesting. You are someone who I'm getting you're always looking forward to meeting progress. Like, I think I already mentioned this, but you're someone who has goals set ahead of time, and as soon as you reach them, you already have more goals set. You give off really, really almost like Energizer Bunny energy. Like you feel like you have so much energy to give, and that's not possible for anyone. But you don't let people see you sweat at all. You make everything you do look incredibly easy. And we've got the Four of Wands. Oh, the happy, like the honeymoon card. It's the honeymoon card. Also feeling a lot of wands energy. Specifically with that fire, you're very physically attractive. Not only are you very physically attractive, there are definitely people in your life who view you as the ideal mate. I think I already mentioned this earlier too, but you're probably someone who has had to deal with like friends catching feelings for you. Um, People who get close to you tend to end up liking you that way. Like it can't be helped. You are a very loving being. You might be someone who has been accused before of being a natural flirt. Whether you agree with that or not, you just are a very loving being. And when people pick up on that, they want more of it. You give off such great energy. Like people want to build whole families with you. They want to like start whole new lives with you. That fire energy also is indicative of people moving very fast. You are likely used to people catching feelings for you very, very quickly. When you enter into relationships, there's a huge possibility that you have to like tell your partner to slow down, or you have like this giant whirlwind romance. People get caught up in your energy very, very easily. And it can seem like a fairy tale. That's in like the best way possible. In the best way possible. You make people feel like they're going through a fairy tale. I'm getting though that that might be an energy that's kind of hard to keep up. You're not even inspired, like you're not doing it on purpose either. Like it's not your fault that you have really great energy and that it can be a little bit addicting. You know what I mean? But there is a sense here that like people will build you up in their heads and then you have to like it's almost like projection. Like you've had to like remind people who you actually are, otherwise they'll like project all over you. You just come off as like the ideal you come off as the ideal partner. And when people get 95% of exactly what they want, they assume that the other 5% is there too because they got exactly what they want. That means 100%. And I'm definitely getting that that can be something that like backfires for you when people start projecting onto you. You're a very strong person too. Like you've got a really strong, I'm getting that you have a really strong personality. So it can be, if not insulting even, it can be frustrating having to deal with that kind of thing. And we've got the Knight of Cups coming up in the exact center of your 5-card spread. You are a heavily romantic person. Um, and I'm getting that you might not even agree with that, but it comes with your actual, like, you just have a romantic heart. Like, you can't hide it, I'm getting. It comes with being someone who is so full of love. So sorry about that. That was a phone call I had to take. Anyway, as I was saying, you are very naturally romantic. You have a very big heart naturally, is what I'm getting. And whether you mean to be romantic about things or not, you also read people very, very well. And so when you do gestures for people, even when it's just like talking to them, you make people feel very special. You make people feel very, very seen, very heard. You know what I mean? Like someone who you've just met, someone who you've only met a couple times, even, you see them again and you ask how their family member's doing, or like you ask them about something they told you the last time that you saw them. That kind of thing makes people feel very special. You remember things about them. You actually care and listen when people are talking to you. It makes people feel special. And whether you mean any kind of like love by this action or not, it also makes people feel very warm and noticed in the same way that love does. regardless of what kind of love that is. People adore you. You're definitely someone who likely has like fan energy going on, especially if you're like big out in your community, if you're big online. There's a sense that you're very popular within your community. And the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles coming up right at a knight to a king, basically. Um, you are, you have a very, very, I'm getting like rags to riches energy. There's no other way to put it. Like you are someone who likely did not have a incredibly fortunate, formative set of years. Or if that's not the case, you are likely someone who has faced other types of hardships along the way to being who you are right now. People admire the journey that you've taken to get to where you are. People are, I'm getting that like you'd probably even be surprised at the people who are genuinely proud of how far you've come and how much things have grown and changed for you. Like people from your past, people who you don't think about anymore, people who they don't ever cross your mind, you can't help but cross their mind. You're a very impactful person, I'm getting, like whether you are trying to be or not. There's a sense here that the things that you say to people, particularly the things that particularly the advice that you give people, like the observations that you give people, it really sticks with them, regardless of how long you've known them, if you ever see them again even. Like the way that you treat people and the way that you treat people, there's no other way to put it. The way that you treat people really sticks with people. Strong justice energy, you definitely give what you get. And I'm getting that a lot of people really respect that. There are people who have been encouraged to be more firm and stand stronger on their own 2 feet because of how you conduct yourself and how you hold yourself. This is definitely the energy of someone who doesn't take shit. Like, you're not going to like let people talk crazy in your face. You will stop someone and you will correct them. And there are likely people in your life, whether you know it or not, who have been around for you doing things like that and have been very, very inspired by that energy. You inspire people to stand on their own 2 feet in the best way possible. And we've got the Ace of Swords bringing up the last of the 5-card spread. Not surprising. Again, you're very intelligent. You come off as someone incredibly intelligent. And not just intelligent, but I think I mentioned it earlier, very straightforward. Like you're not trying to be like hurtful or anything with how you talk. And I'm getting that it can be like sometimes people might need to get used to the fact that like you're very straightforward with the things that you say. Because you're not trying to be mean, you're trying to be helpful, in fact. And the most helpful things in a lot of situation is just being blunt and straightforward so we can cut out the middleman and make sure there's no misunderstandings. You're definitely a good planner. Whether you are someone who finds that you're good with time specifically or not, you are very good at sticking to a plan and you're very good at making plans. You don't overestimate people. You're really realistic with what you expect from the people around you. If anything, I'm getting that you push yourself harder than you would ever push anyone else. And we've got the 9 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. At the bottom of the deck, yeah, you definitely push yourself harder than you would push anyone else. You definitely hold yourself to standards that I'm getting you probably do not hold other people to. All right. What more can we know, please? What more can we know? What more can I know about you? If you are in a leadership position at all, in work, in school, even in like your home family unit, if you're someone who's in a leadership position at all, the people who you lead, the people who look to you as their leader, they really, really admire how you have managed to come so far and still be such a there are people who know they could never be as graceful as you are, basically. That's the best way to put it. There are people who know that they could not live in your shoes. There's no way that they could handle being you. It's very awe-inspiring, frankly. There are people who, especially if you're like, if you would consider yourself to be like a community elder in any way, there are people who want to be like you. They look to you as like a guidepost for how they want to be when they grow up. You're very brave. I'm definitely getting that you're someone who you're not afraid to fall down if it means that there's the potential for you to fly on the way. You know what I mean? You're willing to take the risk. And we've got Ponyta. Quick learner, quick thinker, quick on the feet. Yeah, you're willing to take the risk. It doesn't take you long. Like in split-second decisions, with your back pressed against the wall, you're very good at making decisions. You don't freeze up. Even if you do freeze up, you catch yourself very well moving forward. Yeah, definitely getting that your downfall seems to be that you have a very big heart. Not that that is a downfall in any way, shape, or form, but it is something that likely has given you a bit of trouble in your life. And we've got Mankey. Athletic, self-starting, self-motivated. Self-motivated. You definitely hold yourself to higher standards than you hold the people around you to. That may have caused trouble within your life, actually. There may be like some friction. There may have been friction between like people who feel like you are looking down on them or you are trying to hold them to standards that's unfair, when in reality you're just aiming to be the best you that you can possibly be. You're just trying to grow and evolve along with life. Yeah, your constant moving forward and the evolutions that you take, because there's definitely a sense here that you have undergone and will continue most likely to undergo a lot of transformative periods in your life. Like you're someone who likely you had to grow up early, or you're someone who got a lot, that you are an old soul, or that you are so mature for your age, especially back during your formative years. Like you are constantly trying to move forward and progress. And that kind of energy can be intimidating, I'm getting. Like, there's the possibility that you draw, if not necessarily envy, even, you draw like a certain amount of ire just because people are projecting onto you. And this is the second time I'm talking about people projecting onto you, and it's in a completely different thing, even. Like, huge possibility that you just have issues with people projecting onto you. There are people who, if they looked like you, if they had your talent, if they had your connections, if they had what you have, regardless of what that is, they would act a certain way. So they assume that you will act that certain way as well. It's projecting their own insecurities onto you. You're a very graceful person. I'm definitely getting that you're good at like turning the other cheek when this kind of thing happens. That's not something I would be able to let go of. I don't like it when people make broad sweeping assumptions about me so they can dislike me. All right, what more can I know about you, please? All right, and we've got Hitmonlee, athletic, talented fighter, dedicated trainer. This is the second athletic to come out of this card set for you. Regardless of what kind of body type you have, you are in very good shape. Like, regardless of what kind of body type you have, you are in very, very good shape. You are a healthy person. I'm definitely getting that you take care of yourself. even if it's not necessarily because you care about how you look, you take care of yourself so you aren't like sick, so you don't find yourself being weak. You're really smart. Um, you understand like cause and effect in the simple equation of like, if I don't eat correctly, I'll feel like shit. If I do this thing, I'll feel better. Like you're very logical, you think things out before you think things out before you get involved with them for the most part. And you are a very quick thinker. I think that came out earlier in these cards too. Like you're a very, very quick thinker, so the whole process doesn't take a long time for you. You're very, very quick on your feet. Yeah, you incredibly quick on your feet. For some of you, you might be like dancers or like boxers or MMA fighters. You might only train that kind of way, or like you might only train for that kind of specialty. If you are, people are definitely jealous of the talent that you have. That has come out kind of at several points. Regardless of what you do, there are people who are very envious of the skills that you have. And we've got Squirtle, team player, fun-loving, cool-headed. Yeah, and Squirtle's coming up right over the Four of Wands with that fun-loving and cool-headed energy. And also that team player energy. You do really well with other people, regardless of whether you realize it or not. There are a lot of people who would really love to get to know you better, would really love to get closer to you. Again, especially if you are big out in your community, if you're big online in any way. Definite popular loner vibes. There are a lot of people who would really like to get close to you, and I'm getting don't exactly know how to. Like, even with the Four of Wands, typically the wands on each side are spiritual protection. At least for me, they read as spiritual protection around the couple in the center. For you, in this particular case, it's more a sense of like, people have a hard time approaching you. Like, whether it's intimidation, whether it's they're not meant to approach you, so they aren't allowed to approach you spiritually. Like, there's a very strong sense here that people have a difficult time approaching you. They want to get to know you. People want to get to know you. A lot of people want to get to know you. And we've got Crabby. Survivor makes something out of nothing, self-sufficient. Self-sufficient, I feel like another self-sufficient popped out at one point too. You are very independent. And again, I'm getting that you likely are someone that had to grow up quickly, or someone who had very specifically, like very, very specific formative years that led you to having to be someone who takes care of yourself. You can take care of yourself. You're incredibly self-sufficient. And past being incredibly self-sufficient makes something out of nothing. I think I might have mentioned the rags to riches earlier in your reading. This is strong rags to riches energy. You're someone who beat the odds in one way or another, and it leads people to have faith that you will beat the odds continuing going forward. It's really fantastic energy, frankly. People I'm getting like haters to fans, even like people who didn't believe in you before know that they should place your bets on you now. You are just going up, and there are a lot of people who are very interested in that trajectory. And we've got Aerodactyl, natural leader, sharp sights, lofty goals. Yeah, that sums it up, both with the natural leader and the lofty goals. You have a lot going on for you, and there are, whether you realize it or not, there are a lot of people who know you've got a lot going on for you and are excited to see where all of that ends up taking you. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here with me again today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was enlightening. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, and we're on pile number 2 with the Jack of Spades. Now, the Jack of Spades is indicative to Knight of Swords energy. Getting strong Gemini energy. You're very clever. You're very, very good with your words. And I'm getting charming. You're a really charming person on top of all of that. Delicate. The word delicate is coming through too, regardless of how you look, regardless of what your build is. You're someone who moves with a certain amount of delicacy through the world. You're very gentle with people, is what it is. You're someone who knows how to handle people in really rough situations. If you don't feel that way about yourself, you don't show it when you are in really rough situations. You're capable of keeping a very, very calm, level head and being, I don't want to say a rock, but it's what comes to mind, like being a rock in really, really bad situations. You're also very funny. People really like your sense of humor. You might not think you're funny. I'm getting for some of you, it might be really dry wit that you have. Regardless of what it is, though, people dig it. You're very funny. People really like your humor. You're also a lot smarter than you let on. Getting the energy here of someone who is very street smart. Like, you come off as someone who knows common sense, like has common sense, knows how to act out in the world. And it can surprise people how much book smarts you have on top of that. Yeah, definitely very intelligent. You're very intelligent, and you don't seem to care if other people know that about you. The Page of Wands popping out right then. Yeah, you don't really seem to care. This is the energy of someone who's more focused on having a good time and having fun and experiencing the world. Page of Wands energy, youthful Page of Wands energy, travel, exploring, experience. You come off as someone who book smarts aren't really important to you, basically. And what's not important to you at the end of the day is proving that you're an intelligent person. Yeah. To the point where you might be someone even who like thinks it's funny that people underestimate your actual intelligence so much. Like, you might be someone who has like a little bit of fun with people, might pretend a little bit or like tease them a little bit for making an assumption about your intelligence, which is incredibly fair in my opinion. Fair of you to mess with someone for making assumptions about your intelligence. Not fair of them to make the assumptions. Alright, what more can I know, please? What more can I know about you? Okay. And we've got the... Alright. We've got the Ace of Swords, the Hermit, and the Nine of Cups. Incredibly interesting energy. And so, you are someone who feels very God's favorite. You might have been accused of being handed things in life, particularly by people who don't know you and again have made assumptions about you. Anyone who does know you knows that all of the things that you have in your life, you worked incredibly hard for. Even if it wasn't hard in the sense that like you did back-breaking manual labor. You're a really smart person. You've used what you've had in life to make something out of nothing is what I'm getting. And you've always gotten ahead on that. Like in the best way possible. Like, you've managed to pull yourself along and get yourself to a really great spot all on your own steam. Like, the Ace of Swords and the Hermit, especially with the Hermit's lamp facing the Ace of Swords, it's answers. There's a sense here that you have gone looking. You are very good at self introspection, basically. You are not afraid to face your inner demons. You're not afraid to do the shadow work, especially since at the end of that is where you get answers, where you start to get things that let you move forward, let you have closure, let you move on. You know what I mean? The Nine of Cups coming up right after the Ace of Swords and the Hermit is about dreams coming true. The Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. Things come true for you, things happen for you because you do the work for them. Because regardless of what kind of work that is, you figure it out and you do what's necessary. It's not your fault that you make it look easy. So people assume that it must be easy. Yeah, you might have issues with envy. Like people being envious of you. There's definitely a sort of like, I'm getting almost like a sarcastic energy almost. Like it's definitely not news to you that people project all over you, like that they make assumptions about you that are unfair or completely unfounded. Know that you have more people on your side than against you, though. And it's really clear to the people who are on your side that people are just hating. Like, you're a really good person. And no one's perfect, but I think it says something when people have to like go looking for reasons to dislike you instead of being grown people and just admitting that like they don't like a person. They need a reason not to like you. They need you to be a bad person to justify them liking you or to justify them not liking you. I'm getting that you're someone who has gotten over caring what other people think about you. Like, and it's so unfortunate because the negative voices always seem to come out the loudest. But again, you have so many people who are on your side, whether you realize it or not. People who really, really like you. People, even people who you don't know, who are rooting for you, who want to see you succeed. Especially if you're someone who is very open about your story, very big out in the community, or very big online. People want to see you succeed. You are a very lovely person. And you're a really fun person, I'm getting. Like, there are people who want to see you succeed for no reason other than the fact that they think that you deserve to succeed. You're a fun-loving person and you're good to the people around you. All right, what more can we know, please? What more can I know about you? All right, and we've got the Tower. Yeah, the Tower coming out right away. It's not your fault. Like, you attract envy. It keeps coming through. You might have been having issues lately with this specific topic. If that's the case, this message is to tell you that it's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault that people want what you have. Like, especially since you are a very hard worker. It's not your fault that people don't want to believe that you work as hard as you do. It's not your fault that people are made insecure by who you are and what you bring to the table. Literally none of that is your fault. Like, you have very, very specific energy, I'm getting. Like, you're likely someone who people can develop really, really intense fixations with you on both the good and the negative end. Like, there are people who want to be your friend, want to get close to you, absolutely adore you on one end. And there are people who have become obsessed with you because they want to see you fail or they want to see something bad happen. Like, either way, you inspire really, really intense emotions in people just by being yourself. Um, this is the point of the reading where I tell you to cleanse. Um, Definitely you have a lot of that energy on you right now. There's something out in the ether that is all up in your energy right now. It would likely be a very good idea to cleanse. I'm getting like spiritual baths, specifically washing your hair or like washing your head. And this isn't going to be a message for everyone, but if you've been having issues specifically with like certain people, especially in the sense of like people gossiping about you or people spreading rumors or even lies about you, know that they will be brought to task soon. Like, things will balance out. You, you don't need to clear your name. Your name will be cleared all on its own very, very soon. And I'm sorry that you're going through that. And we've got the Ten of Swords coming up right after the Tower. Your spiritual team does not play. I literally just said that, like, If there are people who have been messing with you, if there are people who have been actively going against you, they will see theirs very soon. Like, there's definitely a sense here that you have been going through it recently. Know that the dawn is on the horizon. You're moving into a new chapter in your life, and this next chapter in your life is going to be a lot more smooth. It'll take the lessons that you had from this chapter and apply them to a place where you can actually grow and thrive. You've finished out this chapter of your life. You've done very, very well. You've done as good as anyone possibly could, given your situation. And now you get to move forward and away from all of these bad memories, because I'm definitely getting that for some of you, these are like really bad memories. And we've got the Knight of Cups coming up in the exact center of your 5-card spread. You are, I don't want to say optimistic, but you're definitely someone who can turn a frown into a smile. You haven't been brought down by all of the things that have happened to you in your life. At the very least, you have shown no hint of being brought down by the things that have happened to you in your life. And I am getting that you go through pretty intense transformations, likely on the regular. You still manage to be a very warm, very, very loving person, and you will be rewarded for that. I'm getting with community. There's definitely a sense that you're moving towards community. You're moving towards people who are actually going to respect you and actually going to support you the way that you deserve. You may have been having issues with like people negging you, particularly people that you care about, people who are supposed to be supporting you and supporting what you have going on, supporting what you're doing. You may have had issues lately with people like bringing down your ideas or talking negatively to you with like no real constructive criticism, just like criticizing you for no reason, or telling you that you don't have what it takes to do what you want to do. Like, you may have been dealing recently with people basically telling you that this next chapter of your life is something that you're not prepared for and something that you won't be able to do. If that's the case, trust that this next chapter of your life not only is going to be amazing and something that you are fully prepared for, it's also going to bring you better community. Like, it'll bring you people who know how to support you. It'll bring you people who don't secretly envy you to the point where they're taking it out on you passive aggressively. That's definitely an energy coming through here as well. I don't think that everyone's been dealing with this, but the energy is too strong to not mention it. If you've been having issues with like the groups of people, with any kind of group of people around you that it seems to kind of turned on you, trust that you're on your way to a better community with better people in it. And we've got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups moving away from the Tower and the Ten of Swords and towards the Ace of Wands. Newness, new creation. If you've been feeling creatively blocked lately, know that that's going to end very soon. Especially if you've been feeling creatively blocked because you've been going through a lot of things interpersonally with the people around you. Like, know that as you move forward into the next chapter of your life and as things cool down and you purge the like negativity away from you, basically, because I am definitely getting the sense here that like there likely will be people who you're not taking with you into this next chapter of your life. Once you like recover from everything that you've been through and everything that's been happening around you, you'll be creative again. You'll get that creativity back. You'll start getting those sparks again. Definitely a sense here that there's going to be a lot of creation in the next chapter of your life, both like actual creation that you do with your own two hands, and also I'm getting manifestation. The Ace of Wands is literally a hand holding a wand. Like, definitely a sense that you're going to be doing really, really great things and seeing really great things come into fruition in this next chapter of your life. I'm getting like the two chapters of your, like, you're sitting in a really liminal space right now is what I'm getting. Like, you're transitioning from one part of your life to another part of your life. What comes to mind almost is question and answer arcs in anime. This last chapter of your life, basically, it's something, It gave you all of the lessons that you needed, and I'm definitely getting that some of those lessons were very, very difficult, but it gave you all of the lessons that you needed to transfer into this next part of your life where all of the lessons will be applied, and you'll finally get answers as to why you needed to go through that, or not necessarily why you needed to go through that, but like why going through that ended up being something that was useful, at least in this next chapter of your life. It wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't just the universe throwing shit at you to see if it sticks. Like, you are being led into a different part of your life where everything that you've learned so far will actually be applicable. It'll be important. And we've got the Seven of Swords. Yeah, and it's gonna feel like you got away with something. I'm hearing the song Living Like a Bandit in my head. Like, it's gonna feel like you got away with something. Like, especially, I'm getting that a year from now, you're gonna look back on this and cackle, just mad laugh. You came out on top. Just trust that you came out on top. In a year, you'll look back on things and you won't be able to recognize what your life looked like back then. You've got a lot going for you. And at the end of it, you're going to feel like you got away with murder almost. Like, you made out. You went you went through the hardships. You deserve all of the good things that are coming towards you. And you deserve to feel like they're coming towards you easily, especially when the harder parts of your life felt like they were piling up on you. And that's what you'll get. You're going to get rewarded in this next chapter of your life. And we've got the Seven of Wands coming up at the bottom of the deck. So that's 3 sevens. The Tower is a 7, the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Wands. You are most definitely, and most definitely have been going through it. I'm getting particularly with other people. If that's the case, again, don't lose hope. There are people for you. There are people who won't make you feel like you're fighting tooth and nail for your spot in their lives. All right. What more can we know, please? What more can we know? What more can I know about you? Oh. All right. And we've got Ponyta, quick learner, quick thinker, quick on the feet. Lovely energy to start with coming up, right? Ponyta is also number 77 in the Pokedex industry or index. So that's 3 sevens just in my hand right now between these two cards. 7 is likely a very important number for you going forward. 7 is the number of collective wisdom. 7, like, a great story about people with 7 life path, with the life path number 7. Pythagoras, the teacher that created like math, even he's like one of the founders of like math, that's why his name is Pythagoras. He only allowed life path 7s into his school of like secret arts back in the day, without testing. Everyone else had to test. If you are a life path 7 number, though, you are believed to have innately the ability to retain this wisdom. You're an incredibly smart person, and you're smart enough to not care if people see you as incredibly smart and incredibly talented. You're going to be laughing your way all the way to the bank very, very soon. I'm getting the energy of like you're about to be on a really big come up. People do not know. They are not ready. The people from your past, people that have hurt you, even people if they aren't necessarily in your past yet, the people who have hurt you are going to have their jaws on the floor through this next chapter of your life. Good things are coming to you. Very good things are coming to you. You just need to stick out the last part of this chapter. And we've got Poliwag. Resilient, loves the water, and cute. Resilient pops out the most right there. Again, you are definitely someone who has been through quite a bit. I'm getting like survivor energy, vulture energy, even like in like the best way. Like, you've survived so much, and you are clearly capable of surviving so much more going forward in your life. Polywag and that resilient even came up right over the Ten of Swords. Like, you are... It hasn't been an easy road, but it's made you an incredibly strong person. I'm getting, like, principled person as well. You're someone who has really strong principles and you're not willing to back down on them. The same way that you're someone very, very authentic and you're not willing to give up your authenticity. Just for, especially for, like, acceptance, I'm hearing. And we've got Magmar. Hot, unique, and vigilant. Yeah, hot's coming up. There's no denying that. The Tower is... The Tower represents ground shaking in every single way. The Tower being the first card to come up of your 5-card spread pulled definitely means that there are people who would love to get to know you more intimately. Would love to get to know you more intimately. You draw the eye is what I'm getting. Like, you, whether it's your style or like your actual features, there's something very, very magnetic and very, very unique about the way that you physically look. Like, your physical appearance is incredibly attractive and incredibly drawing. People cannot help but look towards you when you enter a room, is what I'm getting. Magmars are literally lava creatures. Like, you are scalding hot, and whether people like you or not, they have to admit that about you. I'm getting that there are even people who would, like, have to begrudgingly admit it, but it doesn't matter. Objectively, you are a very attractive person. And it can be really frustrating, I'm getting. There are people who are really frustrated by that. I think I already mentioned this energy, but, like, again, once people decide they don't want to like you, they'll just make up reasons to justify they're not liking you. And I'm getting that there are people in your life who would, it would be like pulling teeth, but they'd have to admit that you're attractive. And the same way that they'd have to admit that you're interesting in one way or another. It's really, really strange energy. It's not super unheard of, but it is very strange energy. You draw in envy from people and attention from people who I'm getting are made uncomfortable with, like, how much they're into you, are made uncomfortable with, like, how you make them feel. You draw out really intense feelings in people. And for people who don't feel that way, usually, it can be really disconcerting, I'm hearing. And you are very alternate. Like, there's a sense that you, for one reason or another, you're a very alternative person and you find yourself in very alternative circles often. You might be someone who the fact that you're, like, conventionally attractive is actually something that, like, it makes being involved with the groups that you're involved in a little bit more tricky because people don't take you seriously. Like, not to say that, like, being an attractive person is obviously a weight and a hindrance, but, like, there's definitely a sense here that you've dealt in your life with people not taking you seriously for one reason or another, likely at least more than once how you look. And the fact that they don't think someone conventionally attractive can also be someone who you really are. And we've got Oddish. Loves nature, adorable, and natural green thumb. So natural green thumb actually sticks out the most there. Not just in the case of actual plants, though. You're a very, very strong manifester. And I think that'll become more clear, especially in the next chapter of your life. What you have been manifesting, you're going to see start coming in. Like, this next chapter of your life, and I'm sorry that this is focused so much on this next chapter of your life, but I have to assume that it's a message that you really needed to hear right now. This next chapter of your life is going to give you the things that you've been manifesting through this last chapter of your life. All the blood, all the sweat, all the tears that went into it. You're going to start seeing that all of that did pay off. You are a very talented a very talented manifester. You just needed a little bit more time. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was enlightening. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, and we are on pile number 3 with the Queen of Diamonds. Now, the Queen of Diamonds is indicative of Queen of Pentacle energy. That's Capricorn energy. You're very logical. You're incredibly intelligent. And this is the energy of like a good tactician almost. You're good at seeing alternate options. You're not someone who's very often painted into a corner, basically. You're good at thinking outside the box. And I'm getting someone who's very good at puzzles. Like, if not literal puzzles, you're very detective minded, basically. You have very sharp sight, and not a lot of things get past you. Very detail oriented. Whether you have like a 20-year plan or not, this is the energy of someone who is very firm on their path. All right. What more can I know, please? What more can I know? All right, and we've got the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, very hard worker. You're not someone who can be put off just because the work is difficult or it takes a long time. The Seven of Pentacles is the card of waiting in a lot of ways, waiting for the pentacles to ripen. He can't harvest anything yet. So technically he has no harvest. He's going to have a harvest, but he's still in the process of taking care of it. And if he bails on taking care of it right now because he doesn't like the tedious work for no immediate payoff, he will never get the actual payoff, which needs to be tended to for the whole time. You're very logical minded. And you can piece that together without having to be told. You don't need someone to remind you of all of the details. You've got that down. And you have very good, like, foresight, basically. Incredibly good planner. And a hard worker. At the end of the day, a very, very hard worker. Not afraid of hard work or afraid to be patient either. You want things, definitely quality over quantity energy here. You want things to be at their best, like as good as they can get. You know what I mean? So you're willing to spend the extra time, the extra effort getting that there, easing and like nurturing your plans to fruition. There is, in a lot of ways, motherly energy here. If not with literal children or animals, you're good at nurturing actual plans into existence. Strong manifester energy, regardless of how that manifests within you specifically, definitely strong manifester energy. Someone who's not afraid to do the work to get the manifestations, which is likely why you see the outcomes that you do when you do get your manifestations. And the Four of Pentacles. 2 pentacles already to match the Queen of Diamonds. You're very well-grounded, and more than very well-grounded, regardless of how you identify. You have a very strong sensuality. There's something very, very sensual to you. You likely draw eyes, even if you don't notice, you likely draw eyes wherever you go. And I'm getting a sort of like alternative attraction too. Like, you might not be conventionally attractive, but whatever your look is, however you wear it very, very well. This is definitely the energy of like, people can be surprised at how attracted they are to you because you're usually not their type, but you attract people from all over the board regardless of whether or not they're your type. It can be pretty confusing for some people, I'm getting. You just have that kind of magnetism. And that kind of earthy connection. There's something very you have very strong intuition. And when you first meet people, when you're getting to know people, I'm getting that it can be kind of overwhelming on their end because you're highly empathetic and you read people very well. Between your empathy and your reading people, you tell people what they need to hear in that moment. And it can be kind of jarring for the people who you interact with, especially people who like you're just meeting or like you're talking to completely randomly. Like you're very good at discerning what a person needs to hear in that moment. And you're honest. You're definitely honest. You won't lie to anyone. You won't sugarcoat anything. But you will, in the best way possible, tell this person what they need to hear. And there are a lot of people who value that from you. A lot of people, regardless of whether or not you're still in their lives, there are a lot of people who have taken what you said to heart and remember you as someone whose words they really valued at a very depressing point in their life, or a very low point in their life. Yeah, this is the energy almost of like, this won't be applicable to all of you, but it'll definitely be applicable to at least some of you. You may have like talked someone down from making a very, very life-ending decision. Like, this is the energy of someone who reads people very well and has very good timing on top of that. And so when people need you, you tend to show up in their lives at like exactly the right moment. You're very intuitively led. I'm getting that it works for you. Like it hasn't done you dirty, so you have no problem following your intuition wherever it takes you. And your willingness to follow, as well as your faith in where you're going, it grows your intuition tenfold because you're being rewarded for indulging it. Indulging might not be the best word. Expressing it? Nah. Anyway, the Five of Wands. Okay, 4 to a 5, you are currently in, and specifically this 4 to a 5, you're in a very expansive moment in your life right now. The Four of Pentacles it's the card of being safe, but being restricted in a lot of ways. You have the money, the time, the energy to cover your basic needs, but you need to branch out to get a little bit more. He needs to open his arms and be willing to actually branch out and risk losing something to gain more in return. Going on to the Five of Wands, the competitor card. No one here is trying to kill anyone, but people are trying to win the competition here. You are on your way into, whether purposefully or not, you're on your way into a chapter in your life where you'll be seeing a lot of competition. And in that chapter of your life, you're also going to realize just how talented you are. Like, it'll be a necessary thing to go through so you can appreciate all of your talents. You're going to see what you can do in this next chapter of your life, competing with people who are just as talented as you are. And we've got the Six of Swords. That's a 4 to a 5 to a 6. You are leveling up very, very quickly. And the people around you can feel that, I'm getting. It's even interesting that it's the Six of Swords, the card of like moving shores, right after the card of conflict and competition. Like, you'll expand, you'll meet the competition, and you'll bury them and move forward. Like, you are on a very solid path. Whether you realize it or not, you are exactly where you need to be. Following your intuition has led you to exactly the right place, exactly where you need to be. And we've got the Eight of Cups. Yeah, the two cards of moving on, both the Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups. The Six of Swords it's moving on mentally from a state of tumult to a state of calm. The Eight of Cups is about leaving in the middle of the night almost, moving on emotionally, moving forward emotionally. You are in a very, very transitory state in your life right now. I'm getting that it might, this has been the thorough line for all of these readings too. You guys have been going through it, huh? Like, there's a sense here that you are moving on from, you're outgrowing the spot that you're in. Like, there's no other way to put it. The Five of Wands is indicative of pages. These are children who are playing with each other, moving forward into the grown people who are moving on. Like, you are leveling up you're leveling up at a pace that is incredibly fast, and it's taking you to a place that it's taking you to an entirely new environment, is what I'm getting. The next chapter of your life is going to see you actually harvesting all of what you've planted and been nurturing this whole time. And I'm getting that especially if the process of nurturing this whole time has been difficult, if you've been having to sacrifice and like make concessions. The three of Swords, if you've been having to like take heartache for your work, for it to progress, the payout is going to be incredible, I promise. You're very close to the end of your work. You're very close to being able to harvest what you've been working on. Standing right at the precipice of an entirely new chapter in your life. You've got everything that it takes to, it's just timing. I think timing is very, very important for you. You're really talented. I'm getting that the next chapter in your life is going to feature that talent. All right, what more can we know, please? What more can I know about you? All right, and we've got the Death card. Yeah, the transformation card. You're going through a very heavy transformation right now. Make sure that you're drinking enough water and eating. This is definitely energy that feels very not distracted necessarily, but it is energy that feels like self-care is kind of bottom of your list right now. Make sure that you're giving yourself some time to like drink and eat enough times a day. Make sure that you're taking care of all of your like actual bodily needs. Don't hyperfixate so much on something that you forget to take care of yourself in the process. And it can be easy during a transformation period like this, especially if you've been feeling like scattered, if your thoughts have been kind of hard to hold on to. It's totally natural when you're going through what you're going through. It's completely normal. Don't be too hard on yourself during this transformation period. You are not delicate, but you're going through a process that isn't easy for anyone. You know what I mean? And you're doing it very, very well so far. Cut yourself some slack when you need it. And we've got the Three of Cups. You're fun. You're a lot of fun. The Three of Cups comes up right over the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is the exact center of that 5-card spread to begin with. You are a lot of fun. People really love you. Your friends really love you. I'm getting that that might be part of why this transformation is so heavy, because I'm feeling that it's not that you're necessarily outgrowing your friends. It's that you're outgrowing your friends. I can't think of a better way to say it. It's unfortunate, but you're leveling up. You're going places, and it's not necessarily that you're leaving your friends behind, but it is that you are focusing on new things in life and you're moving forward. You're going to see new things, get new experiences, and you'll be able to come back and share a drink with your friends and share all of the stories and experiences that you've had. It's great. You're going in the right direction. You're not doing anything wrong. But transforming feels really difficult. It feels like shedding a second skin. Make sure, again, that you're giving yourself time to relax, time to actually heal. Make sure that you're spending time with your friends so you're not totally caught up in your head 100% of the time. Because regardless of the fact that you're moving forward into a new chapter of your life and leveling up in a way that maybe some of your friends are not leveling up, your friends still care about you. They're still your friends. Again, you don't have to let them go just because you're moving up and leveling up to a different spot. And we've got the World card. Yeah, that completion energy. You have a lot of, there's a lot of transformation energy going on. I have to assume that it's been a really tumultuous last couple weeks, actually. Again, make sure that you are drinking water, eating food, getting enough sleep. Um, this is really, really profound energy. You're ending the next chapter of your life and you're doing it very well. Whatever spiritual belief you hold, you are doing your faith proud, basically. There's a lot of spiritual protection going on around here. Again, you are exactly where you need to be. In moments where you feel like maybe you don't belong, in moments where you feel like maybe you don't have what it takes, remember that you are exactly where you need to be, and that everything that you've learned up until this very point is going to be applicable moving forward into the next chapter of your life. And we've got the Devil card. Now, the Devil card can be scary for some, but in a lot of ways, it's indicative of passion. It's also another Capricorn card. These are both Capricorn cards, along with the Pile card of Capricorn. So strong Capricorn vibes here. You're very responsible. You're a very, very responsible person. And you're also an incredibly passionate person. The Devil card can mean a lot of things, but at its core, it's about passion almost to the point of obsession. You are likely a perfectionist, but it pays off. The work that you put out is incredible. Like there are people who wish they had the talent that you have at what you do. There are people who are incredibly envious of what you can do, especially if you're creative and you use your hands in your work. There are people who are very, very jealous of what you can do. In a good way. I'm getting like Three of Pentacles energy. There are people who really covet your style, who really covet your talent. It's not it's not to like it's not to like a degree where they resent you for it necessarily, but there are definitely people who would give a lot to have the kind of talent that you have. And we've got the Hermit. And you seem to do it all on your own, too. You're very independent. This is very independent energy. From the very beginning with that Four of Pentacles energy, this is very, very independent energy. You manage to find answers where people find things to be completely barren. The energy of making something out of nothing. And you do it very well. Not necessarily an optimist, but you're not someone who wallows in pessimism either. If things fall apart for you, if things start not working for you, you sit down, you re-strategize, and you work out where you're going to go next. I think I've already mentioned, but this is really great tactician energy. You are very much a natural leader, and especially if you don't think that way about yourself, it comes incredibly naturally to you. I'm getting that you're likely someone who like people look up to without you even realizing it. So you don't realize just how much weight your word has in some people's lives and in some people's minds. And we've got the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So that doubles down on patience. You're really patient. You're a really patient person. It comes, I'm getting, with being like a very good tactician. You watch your step. You look before you leap. And it's paid off. You have really good intuition. If something feels off, you'll go looking, and you have very sharp sight, figuratively and literally. I'm getting that it's very hard to hide things from you. Lapras, solitary and lonely. Yeah, I'm getting, what's the phrase? It's lonely at the top, something like that. This transformation period may have been really rough on you and may have shined a light on maybe some people who were not exactly who you thought they were, and you're having to accept certain truths now. If that's the case, know that sometimes to grow, people can't come with us. Like, sometimes people need to be purged from our lives before we'll get certain blessings, because they shouldn't be coming with you into the next rooms and blessings that you have going on. It's always painful to lose people, but you have better people coming towards you in the event that you've been losing people recently. All right, what more can we know, please? What more can I know about you? You're really unique. You leave your mark on people. And it's funny because I have a feeling that you find yourself to be kind of plain. And the word plain is definitely like, it'll resonate differently with everyone, but I'm definitely getting the feeling that at least some of you would consider yourself to be rather ordinary or rather plain. And it's hilarious because that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, you undervalue yourself, you sell yourself short. And I'm getting, in a lot of ways, it's so you can't be disappointed. Like, you try to be realistic is what it is. You try to be realistic. But being realistic can be difficult when you lean toward, when you have a certain amount of bias going on. You know what I mean? You underestimate yourself. So you underestimate the impact that you have on others. You underestimate the trends that you set. You underestimate the thought processes that you inspire. Like, you underestimate what you contribute to the world. And we've got the Dratini. Full of life, lots of potential, unique. I think I just called you unique. And lots of potential, full of life. People can sense that in you. Like, you have very youthful energy. Regardless of how old you are, you have very, very youthful energy. And people feel revitalized around you. They feel rejuvenated around you. You're someone who, I'm getting, has goals. There are goals that you have in mind with all of that Capricorn energy, and you can't be dissuaded from them. People find that dedication to be incredibly impressive. And they know that you're going to get there. There are people who, if they ever doubted you before, they know for a fact you're going to get to where you're aiming to go. You always do, in some way, shape, or form. You work very hard and you set realistic goals, I'm hearing. Like, sometimes, again, even underestimated goals to just be on the safe side. So you blow through them. I do think that as a perfectionist, you, again, don't give yourself enough credit for blowing through them, even like for knocking your goals out of the park because it didn't happen exactly the way that you wanted it to happen. You definitely have perfectionist, a certain amount of perfectionist trait, which isn't always a bad thing, right? But it does make it so you need someone to tell you sometimes that, like, you're doing great. You've got a lot going on for you. And we've got Electabuzz, energetic, brave, loves adventure. So brave and energetic come out most. Youthful. You have very youthful energy, regardless of how old you are. You inspire people to want to do things, like Six of Cups energy. You inspire people to want to go out and do what they wanted to do when they were kids, or study that thing that they've always had an interest in. You spark interest in people. You make people want to live their life more adventurously, to be a little bit more brave in their encounters, and to like step outside of their comfort zone. And we've got Tentacool, environmentalist, loves the water, sensitive to the sun. Now, what's coming up specifically with Tentacool is an episode in Pokemon where the Tentacool and the Tentacruel were disrupting a hotel that was being built because the hotel was damaging their environment that they needed to live. Environmentalist might not be the specific cause, but I'm definitely getting, and it comes up right over the Five of Wands and the World card. You stand up for what you believe in, and you do it very proudly and without ambiguity. You're an authentic person, and you are willing to speak from the heart, and it really does touch people. You're really good with your words, and your timing is very good on top of everything else. Again, you have really great intuition, and you tend to end up in the right place at the right time, and you tend to know what to say too. You're really persuasive. People want you on their side. And we've got Charmander, adorable, loyal, and fun-loving. Fun. I love Charmander. You're really cute. Like the way that that word popped out the most right then. Adorable. You're really, really cute. And you're also a survivor. You're someone whose light cannot be put out regardless of how heavy the rain gets, metaphorically. You know what I mean? You hold the flame, you hold the hope, and you see results for it. You're a great person, and in a lot of ways, you manifest really amazing results to yourself just by being authentically yourself. It's a great energy to vibe at. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here again with me today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was enlightening. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, last but certainly not least, we are on pile number 4 with the King of Diamonds. So the King of Diamonds is indicative of King of Pentacles energy. Already we're talking like Taurasian vibes. This energy already feels very slow and like seductive almost. You have a lot of sex appeal. There are definitely people who would love to get to know you more intimately. I'm getting that it comes really naturally too. Like, people are very attracted to the way that you move your way through life. Like, I'm almost getting an image of like someone dancing their way through life. Some of you might actually be very good dancers. And I'm getting like acrobats, like some of you might be into acrobatics as well. If that's not the case either way though, it's metaphorical. Like, you move your way through life in a very attractive way. You're very magnetic. Your personality is very magnetic. I'm also getting that you're someone who is, you're intelligent, and you don't really care if people see you that way. This is really low-key energy. Like, it's not that you can't take the spotlight. It's that you'd rather lay back and have like an intimate one-on-one night. Like, you make people feel very seen. You make people feel heard and acknowledged. And that was really weird. Someone is missing you, like, a lot. Like, I got like a super short blare of a song in my head. Someone is missing you, like, a whole lot. If your energy has been like feeling really off, if you've been feeling kind of like off lately, it might do you good to cleanse your energy, like cleanse yourself with like a spiritual bath or like a smoke cleanse in your house of yourself. There's definitely an energy that is really missing you from your past right now. Yeah, and for some of you, expect like expect some form of communication from someone from your past who is missing you very much. Wow, what a random interruption. As I was saying, you give very good advice. All right. What more can I know, please? What more can I know about you? You're a very hard worker. Like, there's a sense that you've worked very, very hard for everything that you have now, and you're still on your way going up. Like, it's still the trajectory that you're taking. There are people who are very interested in where you're going and how you're going to get there. You're a fascinating person, I'm getting. Like, you might be someone who people consider rather eccentric, rather unorthodox. Like, you vibe to your own beat, definitely, and it works for you. Again, I'm seeing an image of someone dancing their way through life. Like, you you make things look easy. You make very difficult things look very, very easy. And I'm getting that people can be very envious of that fact, especially people who try to downplay your talents, people who try to diminish your talents, or people who try to like downplay the talent itself, even. Like, when people realize just how difficult it is to do the things that you do, they kind of quietly slink off with their tail between their legs, I'm getting. Yeah, you might be someone who attracts competition just like without trying, even. Like, people just kind of get this like itch around you. They start competing with you for no real reason. You're very warm. You're very warm, and I'm getting you're really humble too. Like, that specifically is what triggers a lot of people. You are very humble. Um there's a sense that you act like what you do isn't special, like anyone could do what you do. And it is so frustrating for some people, I'm getting, because that's not the case. And I'm getting that it can be frustrating for people who want your talent, that you are so nonchalant about the fact that you have so much talent. Yeah, you're definitely good with your hands. I'm getting like the image of a carpenter. Some of you are definitely artists, some of you definitely work with your hands or build with your hands, but regardless of what you do and if that's the case or not, you are someone who is building a legacy for yourself. Getting real earthy vibes here, like real Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus vibes. You are a forward thinker. You're very non-judgmental. People feel like they can come to you for advice, for a shoulder to cry on. They can be their authentic selves around you, and you won't judge them. You'll also give them, yeah, the judgment card popped out right then. Like, you won't judge them. The way that he's calling everyone back up. Like, and the way that people are rising from their literal graves, you rejuvenate people. And I'm getting that your energy is very supportive. You're definitely a great friend. Like, a great friend, a wonderful partner. You're incredibly supportive of the people around you. All right. What more can we know, please? Yeah, you don't mind being second in people's lives, if that's like, you don't mind playing the supporting role in people's lives if you care about them. You want people to succeed. You want the people you care about to succeed wholeheartedly. You don't hold any of that back, and you don't hold any level of envy or negative feelings when the people that you love succeed. You want that for them. Incredibly supportive, to the point where, like, you might even need sometimes a reminder that, like, you should center yourself sometimes. Like, it can't be all about other people. You need to take care of yourself sometimes. Yeah, definitely get the feeling that somebody, at least one person, really needed to hear that. Burning yourself out for other people does no one any good. You need to take care of yourself. All right. What more can we know, please? All right. We've got the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Now, regardless of how you identify already the two here, like the royalty of the two here, again, you are a very good match. not a very good match. You are an ideal partner. There are a lot of people who think that you would be the ideal partner for them. You're also someone who's capable of growing things on your own, very independent. For someone who is so supportive of all the people around you, for someone who will talk up and raise the people that you care about, you yourself are very independent. Um, I'm getting that you might have issues asking for help. That might be something that is a little bit on the trickier side for you. You may have gone through rather difficult formative years, and it shaped you into someone who has all of this talent, is capable of all of these things, and is still so humble in your presentation and in how you communicate with people. The King of Wands is Leo energy. You can definitely take the spotlight when you try. I'm I'm reminded of the story of like Marilyn Monroe, where she was out with like a reporter, I think, and she went from being completely incognito, like no one really noticed her. She almost just like it, the reporter described it as like switching something on, hitting a switch. And Marilyn walked down the road and people literally stopped and stared because suddenly they could see her. Like that's the energy coming through here. Like you're very good at keeping yourself low key when you want, but when you shine, you shine. When you actually let yourself shine, you are unmistakable. I am getting that you're a rather hard person to get to know, though. Whether you had rather difficult formative years or not, there's this sense of like a protective shell almost. Like you keep people at an arm's distance, I'm getting, until they prove that they are people who can be trusted to be close to you, frankly. All right. What more can we know, please? What more can I know about you? Yeah, you are very hard to get to know. Not to get to know. You're very easygoing, and I'm getting that when you want to, you make friends very well, or you make friends very easily. But you are also very good at keeping everyone at exactly the right distance away from you so you can have your privacy and you can have your private garden, just like the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, see the way that he's holding his pentacle, like holding himself in? It's exactly what we're talking about. You're someone who keeps your cards very close to your chest. It makes people more curious about you. Like, it has the exact opposite effect of making people leave you alone. It makes people a lot more curious about you and what you've got going on. You're also really good with your money. You're really good at finances. Regardless of how much you have or what you have going on, you're really money conscious. Especially I'm getting if you're someone who like really has to budget in your day to day, you're really good at that. Like don't underestimate yourself and don't like talk yourself down from like letting yourself have a treat once in a while. You are really good at self-control in general and specifically here money management. And we've got the Nine of Wands. Yeah, definitely the energy of someone who has had rough years coming up. You're likely someone who had to grow up rather quickly. If that's not the case, you likely heard when you were younger that you were very mature for your age, that you're an old soul. There's a level of the way that he has all of his wands up, and there's like a look of like almost paranoia on his face. Again, you keep people at an arm's distance away from you. And and I'm getting that it's it's almost like a lot of the people in your life don't even realize that. Even like you're not cold to people. You're not like you don't make them feel like you're keeping them away from you. you're very authentic and you're really warm in your presentation. Like, I think that people kind of just assume that you don't like talking about yourself. There are definitely people in your life who are curious about you and don't really know how to bring it up almost. Very mystic vibes. Like, you're a mystery, you're an enigma. People are really, really interested in you. And we've got the Eight of Swords coming up in the middle, and coming up in the middle of the 5-card spread. You are someone who, I'm getting, you have a lot of faith in your faith. Like, you're someone with very strong intuition, and you're willing to follow it through to the very end. Like, the way that she is completely blindfolded and stuck amongst the swords, you're someone who, even in really rough situations, you keep the faith. You don't give up. It has led you to being a rather cautious person in a lot of ways, but ultimately, you're someone who doesn't give up when things get tough and doesn't get angry at what has brought you there. You trust that you were not brought there to fail, and you don't fail because of it. So sorry about that, everyone. I didn't realize how dark it had gotten until I was looking down at the cards and was like, oh, it's like pitch black in here. Um, anyway, sorry about the interruption. You have very strong intuition, and it's sharpened by the fact that you don't shy away from it when you are guided to do difficult things. You're a hard worker. You're definitely a hard worker. And the people around you know that you are going somewhere. Like, you might have issues, in fact, with like people trying to ride your coattails or people getting involved with you in a way that seems a little bit shady. You may have had issues in the past with people maybe using you in one way or another. Yeah, the Six of Cups coming up. Two things about the Six of Cups. One, your formative years, again, have shaped you very much so. If you are someone who feels like you aren't, if you're feeling a little bit lost right now, know that this is your validation that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You're doing amazing. Things might look difficult right now, but they're going to get better, I promise. The other thing with the Six of Cups, there's a lot of fairy tale energy here. It comes with that mystery vibe. Like, people are super interested in you. And I'm getting that it's really easy for some people to try and fill in the blanks almost. Like, take what they know about you. You might be someone who deals with people projecting on you, like building up this whole image of you in their head and assuming that they know you because of that, because they've managed to fill in the gaps. Lots of Cinderella vibes. People are really, really into you. You have a lot more secret admirers than you realize. I'm feeling like there are far more people who are interested in you romantically than you realize. For some of you, I'm getting that that doesn't really matter. It's not something that you're super interested in. But no, if you're ever feeling down, there are a lot, you have a lot of secret admirers. There are a lot of people who are very interested in you. I'm also getting with the Six of Cups that there are people from your past. I think, didn't I have like a whole moment where I said that someone's really missing you right now? There are people from your past who are really missing you right now. Like, especially if you've been like dreaming of people that you haven't thought about in a very long time. There are people who are, especially if they don't have any sort of communication, like they don't have any way to communicate with you, there are definitely people who are trying to find you, like trying to find you on like Instagram or like Facebook or anything like that, Twitter, because they want to get back in touch with you. And more than wanting to get back in touch with you, they want to see where you're at and what you're doing. They you have likely been a unique soul for your entire life. You likely have stories of being younger and having people tell you that you are a very, very unique soul. People from people from your past, from way back when, they knew that you were going somewhere interesting. They've always known that you were going somewhere interesting. People from your past want to see where you ended up and like what you're doing now. Even after all these years, they're very curious of you. They're very curious about you. And we've got the 7 of Cups. Now, 6 to 7, they have every right to be very curious about you. You are progressing. And you're progressing, I'm getting more than progressing, you're realizing that you have a lot more options than you've thought up until this point. The next I'm getting like the next chapter of your life is going to be discovering just how talented you are. Humility is a wonderful trait. It's a wonderful thing. But downplaying yourself, not giving yourself enough credit, that is something that does nobody any good. It's not that you need to give up your humility. It's that the next chapter of your life will show you that you have so many options. And it's because you've put in the work. It's because you've given yourself room to have all these options. You're allowed to feel proud of yourself. You should, in fact, feel very proud of yourself for how far you've come. That's why people who haven't talked to you in years probably are still very interested in you, because they know that you're going to do things. They know that your life is going to be worth hearing about regardless of what you do. They've always known that. People have always been able to feel that. You've always had a certain type of like unique energy to you. That's kind of tipped people off to the fact that you're going to be, your path in life is going to be very unique. With the Tower at the bottom of the deck, like, you are very, very unique and completely unforgettable. I'm also getting that when people leave your inner circle, because there's a certain sense that you may not have dealt with the best people up until this point in your life. If you've had issues with people in your past, know that the luck you brought them when you met them, it left with you as soon as you left too. Lots of Tower realizations. That might be, in fact, why at least one person is missing you so much right now. There's a lot of Tower energy going on. And it's not your Tower energy. I'm getting, again, if you have been like feeling kind of like off, if you've been feeling a little bit funky, cleansing would be a great idea for you. You're in the middle of a lot of energy. A lot of energy is spilling over onto you. Someone misses you a ton and is really trying to get back to you. All right, and we've got Clefairy, magical, out of this world, amazing friend and family. A good chunk of this reading has been about how you are incredibly unique, magical, out of this world, an amazing friend and family. You don't give up on the people around you either. I think I already said this, but you're an incredibly non-judgmental person, likely because you yourself have felt what it's like to be judged and know that it's, one, not an okay feeling, and two, it rarely ever is even accurate. You're willing to give people a chance because you are a wonderful person who grows from your lessons, and instead of being bitter towards life, you are taking those lessons and applying them. People didn't listen to you or treated you a certain way because they assumed things about you. Now you refuse to do that to the people around you. Very, very mature, very, very mature energy, especially for someone who walks so consistently to the beat of their own drum. And we've got Magmar, hot, unique, vigilant. So unique and hot both stand out. You are a very, very attractive person. The Tower coming up, by the way, more past the fact that people have Tower moments around you, and particularly after you are out of their life, the Tower also speaks of ground shaking attraction. People are incredibly attracted to you. I'm getting even that you may have had issues in the past with like people arguing over you, like couples getting into disagreements over you. Um, you're very hot. You're a very, very attractive person. Yeah. Hide your man. Hide your wife. That's what's coming through. Like there there are people who have there are relationships that your name has come up with, that your name has come up in, that you'll never know about. Jealousy or any kind of other emotion like that. I'm just seeing like green with envy. Like you definitely have people who are very, very envious of you. And it's in large part to the fact that it's in large part because their partner is attracted to you and they know it. Or they're assuming their partner is attracted to you and they can't let that assumption go. And we've got Articuno, rare, unique, and regal. So all three of these cards have had unique on them in one way or another. You are out of this world. You are someone who brings change along with you in a fun way, I'm getting. Like you're fun. You make the transformation process fun. I'm getting even when it's difficult, even when it's a full-on tower moment, when you're still involved with these people's lives, you make these transformations a lot of fun. You bring out the silver linings in things. You yourself are used to transforming. You're used to going through really, really hard transformations. And again, it comes down to the fact that you've learned your lessons. Instead of being bitter at the fact that transformations hurt for you, you turn around and you help people ease into their transformations so it's not as jarring for them. Amazing person with real philanthropic vibes. Whether you whether you like being around people or not, you your sense of humanity is something that you should never let go of. It speaks to your giant heart. And we've got Bulbasaur, protective, natural caretaker, and sun loving. Yeah, and we're wrapping up on the natural caretaker. I am once again pushed to remind you that you need to take care of yourself as well. You cannot give from an empty cup, and anyone who cares about you will want you to take care of yourself too. Don't work yourself into burnout. That's not fair to anyone, especially not you. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was enlightening. I will see you next time. Bye.